Back with our monthly segment, Controlled Demolitions Across the United States. This is a segment where we like to see the progress of the transitions of American cities from the current state that we're used to the next phase, which is the 15-minute city, the smart city, the technocratic future. So some of the infrastructure and populace of these cities will have to be going through some of these transitions to get us where we need to go in the future. And sometimes, you might run into some things here and there where the citizens aren't too happy about, such as in Seattle here, where some of the parents were upset because they're closing, I think, 20 different schools across the city, elementary schools. There's a slight budget oversight of $100 million, even though this is probably one of the most taxed cities in the entire country. I believe at some point in 2025 there will be a tax on the actual air you're breathing, walking down these filthy sidewalks with homeless people anywhere. But yeah, let's see what these people are upset about. I'm not really sure. I don't know what they're complaining about. At some point, you just have to learn to kind of accept your tyranny. It just gets.
And as you just mentioned, this is not for this current year or the next year, but then the following year. So we know that the school district, they're hoping to dig themselves out of a more than $100 million budget gap. The school board did give that green light to the superintendent, which means he can now create a list of the schools that could be potentially closed.
Aye. Director Top?
Aye. All in favor.
I know that this is a very emotional topic, the idea of needing to close schools.
The Seattle School Board unanimously signs off on a proposal that could close more than 20 elementary schools in the district.
We are looking at the schools that are very small as potential for being consolidated into other schools.
According to the district, elementary schools are only at 65% capacity, and this new plan would increase school utilization to 85%.
We cannot cut and consolidate our way out of a revenue problem.
Parents, teachers, students, and staff.
To be blunt, this is a bad plan, intended to execute a flawed strategy built on incorrect assumptions, and you, as the school board directors, are the only people with the power to stop it.
All in attendance speaking out against the plan to create a system of well-resourced schools.
When you decide to close schools, it's deeply personal to students, families, and teachers.
This plan needs to be the result of close collaboration with the families, students, and educators who are the heart of this district.
Yeah, a lot of complaining there, a lot of Karens and Darrens. Okay, your kid's got to go to a school 20, 30 minutes across the city in a classroom now with 10 times the amount of kids. Yeah, okay, get over it. Are the schools going to be used to house asylum seekers that you're paying for? Yeah, it is. And, these immigrants have come a long way to get here. We've opened our arms. We've virtue signaled for, better part of over a decade now. And they're here. So they're part of the community. And, yeah, you might have to, close a school or so. It's not a big inconvenience. I mean, that's just the next phase in the progressive politics that we've elected in all these cities. So this is just going to be the norm, or the new norm, we should say. And we also have out in, I believe it was St. Louis Mayor, Mayor Tashora Jones recently told the Black Mayors Coalition on Crime she plans to make convenience store owners more responsible for crimes on or near their properties. Yeah, it's about time. There's been an uptick in many of these cities of crimes at these places of business that are open typically some later hours. They shouldn't be. Convenience store gas stations. And she is basically saying that they need to take some responsibility in some of these things, and they should be. You might be asking yourself, well, why don't we just, hire more police? Well, we can't. We defunded them, so that's out. So you might, well, let's get tough on crime. Those days are over. We're in a very different time now. This is a very progressive approach, an extremely hands-off approach, almost like you might even think we're not doing anything at all. And we're not. But someone's got to take some responsibility. We've defunded the police, so that's out. So what's next? Well, small business owners, you're what's next. So you're up. It's your time to take some accountability. Otherwise, you're going to have to basically, enforcing a curfew on yourself by limiting your hours. And that's unfortunate to them, but, for the rest of us, it works out. Now, off to our friends up in the greater north. There's been an uptick up there recently as far as some property theft, mostly auto theft. Some high-end SUVs and stuff have been stolen, and the police spokesman gave some advice. Some people pushed back on it, but here it is.
The story everyone's kind of talking about in this city.
It's gone viral. It really has.
And it's gone national as well. And people can't quite believe it, but it's worth revisiting again. And Melissa's talked about this already. Car thefts are what they are in the GTA. This is not a new issue. Home invasions to get to your car keys are unfortunately increasing and getting more violent. Terrifying stuff. So last month at a safety meeting, Constable Marco Ricciardi of Toronto Police had a suggestion about where to put your keys with all of these break-ins happening. For those who haven't heard or seen this, again, here it is.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door. Break-in enters, because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns, they're real guns. They're loaded.
So
there you go. You heard it.
That was, as you might expect, thick.
Thick is right.
Toronto Police yesterday.
And yeah, just leave the fob out front. The criminals are not looking to get into your house. They just want the SUV. Leave the key fob out front. Put it in a little basket, maybe a drink. It's getting warm out. And they're not in an easy line of work. So criminals rarely escalate their crimes, so you don't have to worry about them, home invasions or anything like that. And 15-minute city, smart cities, what they don't have is cars. So this wouldn't even be a story. All you have is your e-bike, and you can get anywhere in the city within 15 minutes. Or a drone. Hopefully that's not far down the road. You can't actually bike in a lot of these, the proposals of these 15-minute cities. They say because there's going to be at least 10 5G towers within an eighth of a mile, and your heart's going to be beating so fast that the exercise component of bikes is just too dangerous. So that's out. But you'll love your little urban paradise, in your little ability to get anywhere, and your skyscrapers that all look the same, and your drones watching every single move that you make. But you know what? You'll have your Netflix, and you'll have the rest of your mindless entertainment. So you're good, and you're going to enjoy it. And, well, you're not really going to have a choice. But anyway, that's the update. That's all we have for this evening. Appreciate you listening.